Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel, and thank you so much for tuning in with me today. Now in today's video I am going to be doing my yearly roundup of the best newly released makeup of 2022. So first off, Happy New Year to everyone. I really hope you guys had a good start to 2023. I barely can't believe that 2022 is over. That went by fast. So I really hope 2023 is going to be as exciting as the past year. I really wanted to dedicate this video to all of the makeup that has left a lasting impression on me and that I came to truly adore. Also, I quickly just wanted to thank you guys for making last year so memorable for me on my channel. I really enjoyed it. I really enjoyed the community that we have built up. Reading all of the comments that you guys leave brings me so much joy. And to everyone who has subscribed to my channel, thank you so much. It's very much appreciated. Also, do drop me a comment below if you have had any kind of makeup that was released in 2022 that you truly came to love. I would be really curious to know what your favorite products are. As I said, I'm always looking forward to reading them. It's so interesting sharing different opinions, with you guys and seeing what you guys like. So all of the products in today's video are truly favorites of mine. I mean, they worked grandiose on my skin and I really love them. Some of them are definitely holy grails by now and I can't put them down anymore. So these are truly my favorite products of 2022. So I would say without no further ado, let's just go ahead and let's kick it off with the primers. Now there's 3 primers that really truly stood out to me and that I can't stop using because they are so good. So let's just start off with the Jane Iredale Smooth Affair Mattifying Face Primer, and this retails for $50. She also has a different primer that gives you a glow, but for my personal liking, this is excellent. This is a mattifying primer that will control your oils and it won't dry out your skin. It is so potent. It is absolutely beautiful. I feel like I'm probably more than halfway through by now. I love using this. This works with all of my foundations. It is just an absolutely beautiful product. It is so reliable and this will literally cancel out your shine. In the beginning when you apply this, it's kind of shiny, but let it dry down and you won't be shiny anymore. It's also kind of blurring out your pores. It will just leave your skin very smoothened out, very balanced, and it won't dry out your skin. So it's quite a runny and liquidy formula. So what I would suggest is to actually turn it around and then open it up, because otherwise you might just drop the product and it's gonna go everywhere because it's just literally coming out straight away. So just turn it around before you are using this product. But all in all, this is one of my favorite primers of all time. I have never had a mattifying primer that actually worked so well, that did not pill, that did not dry out my skin in the long run. So once this is empty, I will definitely repurchase this because this is something I definitely would have if I wouldn't have a channel as well. And it's literally one of the best primers I've ever tried. So let's move on to the next primer that actually does blur, that controls my oil, and that really diffuses my pores as well. So this is the Hourglass Vanish Airbrush Primer, and this retails for $56. So Hourglass also has a couple of other primers. I really do enjoy their mineral primer as well, but this was their newly released primer of 2022, and this is so beautiful. Mine is almost empty. First off, this packaging here, so stunning. Looking at this, you would probably assume that I have not used anything of this primer, but there is literally nothing left in here. I probably have a couple of pumps left, and this bottle is almost empty. So that just goes to show how much I love this. This formula is not as runny as the Jane Iredale one. This is more of a gel, but a very lightweight whipped kind of gel, and it feels like silk. This feels super silky on your skin. So this is exactly what I do enjoy about a primer. It's when a primer really just smooths out your face, when it blurs out your pores a bit, when it gives you that soft focus finish, and that's what this is delivering. It is not as mattifying as the Jane Iredale one, I've got to say, but still it's an excellent primer. And also the next one is no exception, because this one really kind of just surprised me. So this is the Glowish by Huda Beauty Blur Jam, and this retails for $33. So this little jar is a little bit newer to me, and this was the very first time I ever purchased something by Glowish or by Huda Beauty. I don't have anything by them, but this primer just really spoke to me because this is silicone free, whereas these two are not silicone free, okay? So I was really looking for something that would give me enough blurring without having silicones. Although my skin is doing super fine with silicones, I don't have any issues with silicones. But it's nice to have an option, and this is it. This is such a fantastic primer, and also I love this primer because this is actually doing something to the longevity of your foundation. Every time I'm using this primer, I feel like my foundation is not really breaking up on me as much anymore, and that is just a win in and of itself, you know. However, one thing is that this one might not be as blurring, although it's called Blur Jam. It's not as blurring as these two. I feel like these two are even stronger when it comes to the blurring effect that you can get, but it's doing a great job. I mean, it is blurring to a certain degree. What I really love about this is the texture. So this comes with a seal, and when you lift this up, you can tell I've used this quite a lot. I feel like I'm halfway through, and I also feel like this jar is just too small. How much do you get in a jar? So you're actually gonna get 26 milliliters in this jar. It's kind of tiny. You don't need that much, but I feel like I'm going through this quite quickly. Whereas with the Jane Iredale, you're gonna get 50 milliliters. This is the one where you get the most product. And with the Hourglass one, you're going to get 30 milliliters, so 1 fluid ounce, which is the standard. 50 milliliters is 1.7 fluid ounce. The texture here, wow. It's actually quite cooling when this goes onto the skin. I think what makes this so hydrating is the cactus extract, if I'm not mistaken, because that is something that is really hydrating for your skin and actually really good for your skin. And the ingredients in this looked really fantastic. I was kind of like blown away by the ingredient list here. But this is a really fantastic primer for all skin types. If you have drier skin, I would definitely recommend you trying this out if you are looking for something that is blurring, because I don't think you would be so happy with these two. I feel like this would be a little bit more friendly for drier skin. So those were my 3 favorite primers. I've got to say, the primer section this year really blew me away. These are fantastic, and they are definitely holy grails of mine. So I would say let's move on to the foundations, but in all honesty, I am not going to be talking about any foundations because I actually have just uploaded a ranking of all of the 10 foundations that were released in 2022 and that I tried out and reviewed. So I would highly suggest to head over there. I'm going to link this video up in the cards. I'm also going to put it in my description box down below and at the end of the video because I don't want to spoil it for you guys. In case you have not watched it yet, I don't want to reveal what my number 1 was. In case you've watched it already, you know my feelings, okay? So I don't really want to repeat myself in today's video because that might just take so long, and I made an entire video about it. So I would really highly suggest to just head over there, and thank you so much for actually watching that, because I know you guys really asked me about foundations this year, that I should do a roundup, and I followed your advice and I did, and so I don't really want to repeat myself in today's video, you know, about the foundations again. So skipping that foundation section, let's actually move on straight to the concealers. So there were definitely some concealers in 2022 that made it to my top-notch list. Like I found my dream concealer this year, but I also had some terrible fails, and I will make a fails video after this one. Let's actually move on to that one concealer that I tried out this year, that was released this year, that I just fell in love with this so much, and that's all because of one of my beautiful subscribers who actually suggested this product in particular to me. They were like, if you've not tried this product yet, you should really try it, and I'm so glad I did. So this is the Lawless Conceal the Deal Concealer, and this retails for $26. This is fantastic. And the way I love to use this, especially is for my under eyes, because this is one of the only concealers that does not crease in any major way on me. The texture here is where it's at. This has this beautiful, lightweight, yet creamy sort of texture to it, and it's just beautiful. It blends out like a dream, covers like a dream, looks amazing all day. It is perfect. This also comes in a lot of shades, however, it's a little bit of a challenge to find your correct shade. I actually figured out that my perfect match for my under eye is the shade Ballad. Not the shade Cashew, not the shade Shell that I also have, but the shade Ballad out of all of them. It's actually really pink, but it works so well for my under eye. In the beginning, I thought Cashew was my favorite one, but Cashew is a little bit yellow. And I actually don't really like yellow kind of undertones. Like, I'm so over that. And this is my favorite shade. It's the best freaking concealer I've ever tried for my under eye. This really stays put. It's the one I'm wearing today as well. I mean, this is just absolutely beautiful. And I feel like Lawless with this release has just made one of the best under eye concealers ever. Now, if you want to spot conceal, it's also working, but I would say it's not that full coverage. It does say full coverage concealer in here. It's kind of a medium coverage concealer, okay? Has more of like a hydrating but not too dewy finish. This is just my number one. Out of all of the concealers I've ever tried for my under eye in particular, this is the best one. And then another concealer that came out in 2022 that I came to really adore is actually by Honest Beauty. So this is the Honest Beauty Fresh Flex Concealer, and this retails for $22. It's actually really covering, it's hydrating. Again, it's a little bit more luminous. So if you like something a little bit more luminous, I would say maybe try this one out. This one might crease on you a little bit. It's also going to depend on what powder you are using to powder your concealer down, if you are actually using a powder at all, I don't know. But yeah, this one is actually pretty because it has a lot of coverage. I feel like this definitely has more coverage than the Lawless one. And the shade that I end up using the most is actually the shade Fawn. I also have the shade Almond, but I feel like the shade Fawn works a little bit better on me than the shade Almond. Again, Almond leans a little bit more yellow than Fawn. Fawn leans a little bit peachy or pink. So it's a great one. It's also not too pricey. And it comes in a glass packaging. That's also amazing. So I would say if you have not tried this one yet, it's definitely one of the best ones of 2022. We're not quite finished yet in this category because there is another new release that I've tried out that I actually also really do enjoy. So this is by Airy Paris, and this is their Lychee Cream Corrector, and this retails for $30. So this product by Airy Paris was recently released. I actually do enjoy this quite a lot. I just don't like the shade range. It has kind of a similar finish than the Honest Beauty one. It's a lot more luminous, but it works really well with powder. Once you powder it down, it's not going to be luminous or like wet looking at all. But it's really nice. It has a lot of coverage, blends out really well. It's kind of creamy, not too thick. You know, it's actually a beautiful formula. It works well under my eyes too, but all over my face, this actually worked beautiful. I actually put this on top of the Airy Paris foundation. I have that Water Quinoa foundation. So if you really like more of a luminous kind of finish, I would suggest these two. So these are my top picks when it comes to the concealers of 2022. Really cool products, especially this one. So good for your under eye. Absolutely fantastic. So those were the concealers. So let's actually move on to some setting powders. So out of all of the powders that I've tried, these are the two powders that I love the most. So since I got this one, I don't even want to reach for another powder because this is just absolutely stunning. And this is the Fit Glow Beauty Bamboo Hyaluronic Loose Setting Powder, and this retails for $28. Ooh, this is such a good release. Like, this is amazing. This powder blew me away. It blew my socks off, okay? It's that good. First off, this is like such a finely milled powder. It feels like silk. So bamboo silica is really known to like blur and mattify. And this one is just absolutely beautiful. This really reminded me of the 100% pure powder that I also really do enjoy, but it's almost double the price. And also, I don't think you're gonna get that much product as in here. It is so finely milled. You just gotta be a little bit like careful when you take it out. This actually does come with a locking sift. However, this powder is so finely milled. Sometimes some residue gets stuck in here. That's how finely milled it is. This is blurring, it will set your makeup, it will mattify your face without drying out your face because of the hyaluronic acid in here. I don't have it for that long and I've been using this quite a lot. It's so stunning, it's the best one. It's amazing for your under eyes. It's also amazing to blur out your pores. Like, listen, sometimes I just take a little bit of the powder and I just touch it up. So this is a life savior. It's so good. If you want something like that, if you have oilier skin or if you just want a blurring powder, because again, this will also work on dry skin because it's not caking up your face, it's not drying out your face, it's not gonna suck out like all of the moisture, you know. So in case you're not vibing with bamboo silica, or in case you just want another powder, not something like this, not something that finely milled, but yet very stunning, also talc free, this one is another one that really stole my heart. So this is the Rare Beauty Always an Optimist Soft Radiant Setting Powder, and this retails for $22. This has also become one of my all-time favorite powders. It is absolutely beautiful. This comes in a couple of shades, whereas this one only comes in a translucent version. This one comes in shades. So I do have this in the shade Light. So I'm not sure if you are able to see this, but this powder actually comes in a little bit of a pink sort of undertone. I mean, it's kind of looking pink, okay? But the pink does not really translate to your skin. This will set your concealer, it will set your makeup. It also works for my under eye. This works well on all of my foundations, and I've been using this quite a lot. It's so good. It's absolutely stunning. And another thing I really love about this is the packaging. The packaging! Oh my gosh, this is just brilliant. I wish every brand would do this. Like, this is the locking sift, but the locking sift in and of itself is super sophisticated because it has this separate kind of like lock here. This barely has any spillage and it's really great to travel with. I love this. This is so beautiful. It's a fantastic powder. It's also quite affordable. I can really rely on this because it will just really set my makeup. And it works with so many products. Alright, you guys, so those were the base products. So let's actually move on to some complexion colors and let's kick it off with the bronzers. So I'm pretty much under the impression that this year was the year of the cream bronzer. I have tried out so many cream bronzers this year. I even tried out more cream bronzers than actually powder bronzers, which is kind of interesting. So let's actually kick it off with the cream bronzers and let's actually continue with the same brand. So because this one is also by Rare Beauty. So this is the Rare Beauty Warm Wishes Effortless Bronzer Stick, and this retails for $26. I feel like this is a cream bronzer formula that was well loved by a lot of people. And I myself love this as well because it's just so whipped, so blendable, and it actually stays put. It works well on top of powder. It's available in 5 different shades. I've got this in the shade Happy Sol. I think it's the second lightest shade. It's also not like a dewy or like a greasy kind of formula, something that is sticky. It's so perfecting. You can build this up. It's just the way this blends out on the skin. I have nothing else to say. This is stunning. Okay, and there was another stick bronzer that I just love so much. I really had to put it in today's video because I also could not put this down because this is another formula that I really adore. So this is the Jane Iredale Glow Time Bronzer Stick, and this retails for $33. So the Rare Beauty one is definitely more affordable than this one, and for some reason this one looks so much more expensive. This one, it's a little bit basic, but it works well. It's such a beautiful cream bronzer, and yeah, I really love this. I mean, this is the shade Sizzle. This formula is also really long wearing. It's also quite creamy, so it's really easy to blend this one out. It's not patchy. It just looks absolutely stunning on your skin. Works so well on top of powder. And if you like Jane Iredale, I feel like you should try this product. I was really impressed by this. I did not expect to love it that much. So these two are doing a fantastic job in bronzing up my face with a cream formula. So let's actually move on to the one powder bronzer where I was just blown away by, that I can't put down anymore. And this was a release that really intrigued me. I picked it up and it was the only thing that I loved by this brand. So this is the Haus Labs Power Sculpt Velvet Bronzer, and this retails for $38. And this bronzer actually does come in 12 shades, so I find this to be very inclusive. It's a huge shade range just for a bronzer, and I'm really happy she did that because that's really cool, because sometimes bronzers have just one shade or 2 shades, you know, but this comes actually in freaking 12 shades. So I have this in the shade Medium Level 5, and this has a little bit of a rosier undertone. First off, this packaging. This is so beautiful. I mean, stunning, but the product is even better. What's inside of here is just so good for a powder bronzer. It's like this baked jelly formula, blends out like a dream, no patchiness. You can build this up. Looks fantastic. I mean, it's a powder bronzer, but it's such a good one. Okay, enough with the bronzers, so let's actually move on to a fun category. Let's move on to the blushes. So there were actually quite a lot of cream blushes that were released, but in all honesty, most of the cream blushes really did not leave a lasting impression on me, literally, because most of the cream blushes that I've tried out this year, they kind of faded away after a couple of hours. So I was a little bit bummed out and I had to think about it. I'm like, do I even have a cream blush that does not do that, you know? I don't know what it is, but sometimes my skin tends to eat up cream blush. And it just, once they put, although I powder it down, they just dissipate in a couple of hours. And then my skin kind of looks patchy and ridiculous. So I really had to think. And there was actually one cream blush that did not do that. But it's not necessarily a brand new release, but it's a brand new shade that came out this year by a formula that had already existed prior to that. So this is by Tower 28 and this is the Beach Please Luminous Tinted Balm and this retails for $20. So this is the shade Office Hours and this was actually released this year. Now, as I said, you know, the formula is not brand new. It's not like a 2022 release, but this color, ooh, this color is so stunning. And this, although it's a super dewy kind of formula, I mean, it's called balm, okay? It does work when I powder it down, and this one won't disappear in a couple of hours. This actually stays put on my skin. It's really, really pretty, super highly pigmented as well, quite affordable. This is like one of my favorite shades ever in a cream blush formula. It's so good, but it's also the only one that really stayed put. So this was the one and only cream blush that did work for me, but I do have so many powder blushes that I really, really loved. And honestly, my all-time favorite formula was released last year. And this is like my favorite blush of all time. So this is no other than the Jane Iredale Pure Pressed Blush and this retails for $32. So I do have 4 different shades and she came out with a billion gazillion of shades. I'm not sure how many shades she came out with, but there's a lot of shades and the shades all look beautiful and they do have different finishes. So there's a glowy finish and there's a matte finish. I only have the matte finishes off right now. These go on like airbrush. They literally look like airbrushed. They're not patchy, they're so smooth, the quality is just unbeatable. So my favorite shades are these 2. I mean, you can tell how much I love them. You can't see the engravement anymore, you know, the embossing, it's all gone already. Like, I dig in there, okay, because they're so good. Especially this one. This is the shade Dubonnet, and Dubonnet is just this beautiful, dusty, mauvey rose. It is unlike any shade I have in my collection. It's really muted. If I do more of like a purpley look, more of a pinky look, I will definitely use this one. And then the one that I'm wearing today is my other favorite shade. It's the shade Flawless. And it's pretty freaking flawless. It's just this beautiful pinky sort of brown beige. This is my number 1 out of all of them. But there are 2 more that I am just in love with. These are also really, really good. So this is the RMS Beauty Redimension Hydra Powder Blush and this retails for $30. Oh my gosh, these blushes went viral on the internet and for a good reason. Some people may say they are overhyped. I really don't think so. I think they deserve all the hype in the world because this formula is beautiful. It's a baked gelée and it's also refillable, which I really truly enjoy. And this shade in particular, I also have this shade Hanky Panky, but this one, I cannot stop putting this down. And I've been using this quite a lot, as you will see. Yeah, this is the shade Maiden's Blush. And Maiden's Blush is just my favorite shade out of all of them because I was lucky enough to actually swatch them in store, try them out, and I thought to myself, this shade is my shade. This is just a really beautiful shade. It's again this pinky brown nude shade. This is definitely a blush that has a little bit of a glow to it, which is not usually the thing that I would go for, but when I use this, I don't really need that much of a highlighter anymore. And what I really love about them is that you can build them up. Now, I will say if you dig in your brush once and you apply them, you might be like, I can't see anything, but you have to build them up. Such a beautiful blush formula, and this deserves all the hype in the world because it's just beautiful. So then I have another blush which was actually not a brand new release in 2022. This blush formula actually existed prior to 2022, but this was a new shade. And also this formula was my favorite blush formula right before these Jane Iredale blushes came along and stole the show. So this is the Lawless Daisy Pink Make Me Blush Velvet Blush, and this retails for $29. I really wanted to try out this Daisy Pink because it's a very cool toned pink. So stunning. This looks like popping, you know, but it's so nice. It doesn't look that crazy on your skin. I'm so happy I picked this one up because I don't think I have a blush that is that cool toned, that is pink. So I'm really happy that she released this edition. I'm also not sure if this is a limited edition or not, so I would say grab it while you can if you like these Lawless blushes. I really do love them. They're also not too pigmented. You can build these up and they just look beautiful. They also look quite like airbrushed. Oof, so that was the blush category. I feel like those were a lot of products. So let's actually move on to the highlighters. So let's actually start off with that cream highlighter that I loved the most for this year. And this is the Rose Ink Solar Radiance Hydrating Cream Highlighter, and this retails for $30. So these also come in different shades. I actually have this in the shade Brilliant. My biggest issue with cream highlighters is that they won't stay put. Some of them are way too balmy to work on top of powders. And this is just the best kind of rose ink product I feel like that they made for the color complexion. I feel like out of the blush formula, the bronzer formula, and the highlighter, this one is the best because it's not as emollient as all of the rest, okay? So stunning. Like, this feels like a cream to powder. And this also works on the tip of my nose. This is also a really good dupe for the discontinued Lila B highlighter. That used to be my favorite cream highlighter of all times. It's freaking expensive and it's discontinued now. So this is a really good option because this is half the price. It's also refillable and is still available. So let's actually move on to the one and only powder highlighter that I've actually tried out last year that was also newly released, and it's quite a new release. So this product, I've never actually featured this on my channel because it's quite a new product. So there was no time to actually put this in a new video just yet, but I really wanted to include it in today's video because it's just so beautiful. So this is by Rare Beauty, and this is the Positive Light Silky Touch Highlighter, and this retails for $25. So I have this in the shade Enlighten, and they actually have this in, I think, 4 shades. Yeah, so they actually do have this product in 4 shades. It's more of like this icy sort of highlighter that I personally like. This one, it's beaming. So a little bit of this goes a long way. But this powder is just, it's just fantastic. Just look at that. I mean, this has just some crazy reflect. I mean, it's gonna give you that glass skin effect. Definitely. It's literally so highlighting. I mean, I'm wearing this today. My skin, this looks like glass skin. And I also love it if a powder gives you that wet look. This is giving you that crazy wet look. If you take too much product on your brush, you literally are going to be beaming from outer space. It's that potent, but the formula is so beautiful. And another thing about this is an amazing inner corner highlighter, and it's really nice for your brow bone. If you like that, I built it up a little bit on my brow bone today. It's not eyeshadow, it's this highlighter. I freaking love it. It's so nice. I really adore this, and I'm so happy she had released this because it's nice and I love it. I love a good powder highlighter, what can I say? Alright, so those were all of the complexion color products for this year. So let's move on to the next category. Let's move on to the eyes. So let's actually quickly talk about the brow products. And yeah, this is a sad story as well because my beloved Item Beauty Brow Chow, which retailed for $15, is going to be discontinued. So I'm like on the hunt for a good new eyebrow pencil. And what I love about this is it didn't take much time to actually fill in my brows. The shape here was this triangle shape. I love it. I love a kind of like pencil like that, but this one was special. This one was just really quick, but the other pencil that I really loved was one I have to like sit there a little bit longer because the shape of the pencil is different. So it just requires a little bit more time to actually fill in my brows. This was done in no time, like literally. But yeah, It's no longer, so I can't believe it. So the other newly released pencil of 2022 that I really enjoyed though is the Lawless Shape Up Soft Fill Brow Pencil, and this retails for $21. I actually do have the shade Oak, and that works fine. Works really good. It's a really good shade match. This one, the Brow Chow, I used to have the medium brown shade. The big difference here really is the shape. This has more of like an oval shape to it. This is a sad story because you guys saw me in every video using this Brow Chow pencil. So now I'll probably have to switch over to the Lawless one because it's the other one that I actually do enjoy quite a lot. So in terms of brow gels, there was not one brow gel that wowed me. Quite the opposite. All of the newly released brow gels were kind of crappy, but this one by Kosas, I think this came out in 2021. I have emptied so many of those. It's the best one I've ever tried, and I will never have probably a brow gel that I love as much as this one. This is fantastic. I still love this. So there is no brow gel. There was just this one. Alright, so let's actually continue with some beautiful eyeshadows, and let's start off with some liquid formulas that I really enjoyed this year. So this is by Lisa Eldridge, and these are the liquid Lurex, and one of them retails for $27. If I'm not mistaken, this formula was already in existence by late 2021, but in 2022, Lisa decided to actually add some fantastic shades to this collection. And you know, these shades, the formula, everything about these liquid eyeshadows, they're the best of the best. They are the most user-friendly formulas ever, the most beautiful shades, and just the way these blend out, the way you can work with them, they won't dry out straight away, because that's my biggest issue with like literally 80% of all the liquid eyeshadow formulas that are out there. These don't do that. They stay flexible, and you can literally blend them out and feather them out without any issues. And my all-time favorite one is definitely Emily. Emily is just everything. I feel like this is just this beautiful silver, taupey, brown. I mean, this is just the most beautiful shade ever. It is my favorite one out of the entire collection. So let's actually move on to a couple of palettes that I really love. So I have 3 different color stories by one brand, but I think my favorite one might have come out at the end of 2021. And I'm talking about no other than Aether Beauty, because Aether Beauty is just kind of like a home run on my channel. Let's just kick it off with these 3 palettes real quick. So this is the Aether Beauty Rose Quartz Crystal Palette, and this retails for $48. This is the Aether Beauty Desert Sunset Palette, and this also retails for $48. And this is the Moonlight Crystal Palette, and this retails for $58. In case you like purples, in case you like more blues, and you have a couple of different shades here that aren't quite as punchy, but these are stunning. I dedicated an entire video with different looks to give you some inspiration in case you have this palette, what to do with it. I really do enjoy Aether Beauty's formula. I really like what she does, and I have come up with so many cool looks with this palette. I really do enjoy this. This was such a fun release. Like, this was really fun to me. But my favorite one forever, in all honesty, that Aether Beauty has ever released, and this is actually a re-release of an existing palette, is the new Rose Quartz one. The Rose Quartz palette, this one is my favorite color story that they have and that they are making. You can do so much with this. This is a little bit more wearable, you know. This might just be a little bit more user-friendly. There's these beautiful cool toned shades. I really love this. This is my favorite color story. And then she also came out with one. I don't really like this color story because this just leans way too golden for me. And I don't really like too much of a golden sort of like color story. And all of these shimmers are golden. Like even this purple, it just has this weird golden shift. Even this rose gold, it's all gold. And yeah, and I'm left with this weird pink. And this is like a color story that does not really speak to me. The formula is great though. I just want to have showed this to you though, because maybe you like this color story. These 2 are my favorite ones so far. I really like them. Again, this is not really my vibe, but it's a great formula. It's just nothing that I would be reaching for necessarily. So let's continue with another eyeshadow formula that I really love. Like, this is one of the best eyeshadow products I've ever tried, and it's so good. but I don't know if this was a 2022 release. So I discovered this in 2022. Maybe this has been out for much longer. So this is the Complex Culture Full-Time Eyeshadow Palette, the Party Edit, and this retails for $28. This formula is fantastic, and this color story, stop it. Wow, I created some amazing looks with this palette this year, and I've got to say this is one of my all-time favorite kind of color stories ever. These shimmers, they are mesmerizing. They are so stunning. I really love them. And this matte formula blends out like a dream. It literally looks like blurred, like diffused when you put this on. And you can build these up. They are so easy to work with. I freaking love this palette. This is one of the best palettes I've ever tried. And it's $28. I was like, what? For $28, this is that amazing? This feels like a really luxurious kind of palette. It's stunning. I really love this. So, so nice. And the next one, oh my gosh, how I love this. This is also so beautiful. So this is by Lawless, the Glam 1 eyeshadow palette, and this retails for $25. This was like a dream come true when this came out. I got so excited. This is, oh, so beautiful. I just wish, to be honest, she would put in one more shade of this beautiful foiled formula. These are insane. They are so good, and this muted, beautiful color story. If you want to go the rosy way, you got your rosy shades here. And if you want to go a little bit more of a taupey way, you can do that here. These are just fantastic. I love the formula in this so, so much. And guess what? They actually had released like singles in this more foiled kind of formula. And oh, they are so beautiful as well. I actually picked up this shade Gloss Slipper by them. It's like a silver with some iridescent in there. And I also have the shade All a Dream. This is more like purpley kind of pink. I mean, I got this with the Daisy collection, I think. But this one I picked up separately because I was just like, I need to try this. And it's such a unique shade, and the formula on these, freaking love them. So I've got 2 more palettes left by the same brand. They're different colorways. And it's also what I'm actually wearing on my eyes today. So this is by Kaleidos, and this is their quad palette in the shade Cold Brew, and this retails for $22. And the other one is the colorway Flowing Haze, and this retails for $22 as well. So keep an eye out on my shorts tab, because I will post a short video where I'm doing this eye look that I'm wearing today, and I created it actually with this just absolutely beautiful quad palette by Kaleidos. This is Cold Brew. This glitter shade is so real, and the way these blend out, the way they can be built up, this is such a beautiful, cool tone, sort of brown color story. I really love this. This is such an amazing formula. I was never keen on trying Kaleidos, but I'm so happy I did, because they're amazing. And just this outer packaging here, it's so beautiful. So I also have this one. This is the Flowing Haze colorway. The very first shorts that I ever posted on YouTube was actually a look that I created with this little quad palette. And I've got to say, this duochrome pink, it's shifting in many ways. It shifts a little bit green gold. This is also very muted in terms of color story. This is such a beautiful, like, cool toned mauvey taupey shade. I really like what I can create with these quad palettes. So if you were looking for a quad palette, they actually do have 2 more of these quads. I actually ordered the Black Jasmine one. I'm still waiting on that. Still has not arrived. Once that arrives, I will definitely also do a shorts video on that one. But these are fantastic. And the hype is real. I really do love these eyeshadow palettes. They're so nice. Alright, so the best mascaras of 2022. And let's just kick it off with my very favorite #1 mascara. And actually, I would say this is also my favorite mascara of all time. This is the best one I've ever tried. This is so freaking good. So this is by the brand Sweet, and this is their Cloud Mascara, and this retails for $30. Sweet is actually a Swedish brand, and I actually picked this up on a whim, not thinking much about it, but this turns out to be the best mascara I've ever tried. I'm wearing this right now, and I feel like this has just stolen my heart. It is so good. It is very black, builds up. It's gonna give you that feathery, beautiful look. It's also very lengthening, defying, and volumizing all in one. It actually has the same brush than my Hourglass Unlocked one, but I feel like the formula on this is even better. Although the Hourglass is a tubing one, but here it is. It's the exact same brush. It's like a pine tree shaped silicone brush, and the bristles are very short. But for some reason, this works so well. This does not smudge. This does not flake off. It does not give me raccoon eyes. It stays put all day long. I love this one so, so much. I actually repurchased it because this one actually does have a 6-month expiration date, like most mascaras do. They only last for 6 months. And I kind of felt like this is almost empty though, but I felt like it's time to get a new one. So I repurchased this, and it says a lot if I repurchase something. I really truly love it, especially if it's a mascara. Alright you guys, so that was it for the eyes, so let's move on to the next category, and the last category, let's move on to the lips. So let's actually start it off with 3 lip liners that I really did love this year. So first off is the Airy Paris Acai Lip Pencil, and this retails for $32. So I have this in the shade Pout. It's like this cool toned brown shade. I'm wearing this today. I literally put this all over my lips. This is so creamy. It's so beautiful. It wears a long time. You can blend this out. And I wish Airy Paris would make a lip gloss that actually matches this shade. This shade is everything. I freaking love this. These lip liners by Airy Paris, they might be a little bit overlooked in the beauty community, but they're amazing. Fantastic product. And then the next one that I really also just love, and that is the Lawless Forget the Filler lip liner, and this retails for $21. So the shade Honey Rose really has stolen my heart. I really just love using this when I wear more of like a purpley lip, or even if I wear a brown lip, this also matches quite well. This is just such a beautiful formula. So creamy. And yet this just does not bleed or does anything weird. It's really long lasting, although it's super creamy. It's very pigmented. It's so nice. It's really lovely to work with. And I just love this. This is such a good lip liner. Amazing. And then the other lip liner that I really, really love is quite also a new release. And this is by Tower 28. They're one liner, multi-liner, and this retails for $15. I love this shade Work of Art. That shade Work of Art is so beautiful. This is like a really sort of taupey, purpley beige shade. It's so difficult to describe, but I love using this actually with my all-time favorite lipstick. This is not 2022 release, but my favorite lipstick of all time is also by Lawless. It's her satin lipsticks, and that's the shade Suede. And this liner goes with that lipstick like nothing else. So I use this constantly when I'm wearing that lipstick. It's really affordable. It's really great. I mean, if you want to put this all over your face, go for it. It's just not my jazz, you know. So yeah, but I really do enjoy this liner in particular. It's really, really lovely. So I don't really have that many lipsticks that I would be raving about that were released last year. But I just wanted to have mentioned one formula in particular that I've been using so much and that I really love. And she just came out with new shades, okay? So I'm just waiting to grab one of these because I love this formula with everything I have, and I think this was my most worn sort of lip product that is not a lip gloss basically. So this is the Rare Beauty Lip Soufflé Matte Lip Cream, and this retails for $20. So this is the shade Courage. This used to be my all-time favorite shade. It's like this dusty pink mauve shade with a little bit of brown in here. I love this formula. This formula from Rare Beauty is everything. Like, it's not really a liquid lipstick, so it's not gonna like dry down. And they are called soufflé, so they're really whipped. She came out with new shades in this formula, and she has one that is called Elevated, and I think that one is screaming my name because I can't wait to have more shades in this formula. This formula is epic. It's one of my favorite freaking lip products of all time. It definitely did not come out in 2022. I think this was around for a little bit longer, but I love this. And I definitely do have 2 new releases of lip glosses that, oh man, I just love these so much. So let's actually start off with one that is not necessarily a brand new release, but it's a new shade in an existing formula. So this is the Rowan Beauty Kiss My Liquid Lip Balm, and this retails for $26. Rowan Beauty has like the most amazing kind of like, I mean, they're calling it lip balms, and they are really not a lip balm. They really do feel like a cushiony gel texture, like a lip gloss. I feel like these are really reflective, really stunning. The one that came out this year, they actually added 3 additional shades to their already existing shade range, and this is Lola. Man, this is so my shade. These have a little bit of a mintiness to them, and the mintiness is not invasive. It's like a really nice, refreshing kind of mint, because it's not like one of these minty like lip glosses that literally burn your lips. I really don't like that. I love this shade. It's like a beautiful nude brown, beigey, pink thing. This is also a formula that I will always have around because it's one of my favorite formulas of all time. Really freaking love these. Alright, so let's move on to the last product of my favorite 2022 releases, and this one really deserves it. You know, the best one comes last. This is just such a favorite of mine. So this is by Victoria Beckham Beauty, and this is her Posh Gloss, and this retails for $28. So Victoria Beckham only had her clear gloss for the longest time ever, and then in 2022 she decided to actually add different colors to them. In total she actually has 8 different shades and 1 clear one. So I have 3 shades here. I've got the shade Bikini, the shade Tan Line, and the shade Poolside. They don't have any fragrance in there, so they don't smell of anything. And if you don't like any kind of scent or any kind of like taste to your lip product, this is the way to go. Like, the packaging here is glass. So either you're gonna like that or you're not gonna like that. They're quite heavy. I once dropped one and it did not break. I was so lucky. I was like, oh my gosh, I just dropped this. It's glass, and it did not shatter. So, you know, it's a good thing. It's quite solid glass, but still, you know, there was a potential that it could break. I mean, these shades are so beautiful, and the formula, again, is this beautiful, like, highly reflective, high shine, gel, cushiony lip gloss formula. It's not tacky. They're also quite sheer, yet they're gonna give you a really decent amount of color payoff. I've been wearing Tan Line on my lips, which is this one. This is like one of my favorite shades. So they have a really decent amount of gray in here, which I love. It makes them super muted, but just beautiful on your lips. The other one that I can't stop putting down is the shade Poolside. If I wear a purpley look, I will always just reach for this. The shade Bikini, it's like this nudie, kind of muted baby pink, but it's just perfect. It still looks so, so nice. I mean, this is the newer shade that I picked up because I never had this and I always wanted to try it, and I could only recommend them. If you want a really, really good lip gloss that is like literally long wearing, that looks amazing on your lips, that has this really thick gel cushiony sort of feel to it without being tacky, without slipping around, without being too runny, this is perfect. Such a beautiful release, and I'm so glad that Victoria made these because they are everything. I love them. I love them so, so much. They're amazing. All right, you guys. That was a lot. I really had to think about these products quite a lot in order to make this video. So do let me know in the comments down below. Are you agreeing? Did you see anything that you love as well? Or what was your favorite product release of 2022? I would be really thrilled to know. And also, if you did enjoy this roundup of 2022, why not give it a big thumbs up? That would be very much appreciated. And in case you've been watching my videos and you have not subscribed to my channel, or in case you made it that far and you are new here, why not hit the subscribe button? That would mean a lot to me. And I really hope I can provide you with some great content in 2023. So just stay tuned on here. Don't forget to ring the bell actually, so you stay updated about my upcoming videos as well. And until the next one, which is going to be my beauty fails, please do take care. Thank you so much for watching. Bye bye.